Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today we're going to be talking about why the Houston Rockets are the biggest winners of the 2024 NBA Draft. There are multiple reasons why I believe the Houston Rockets are the biggest winners in the NBA Draft, mainly because I'm not a big fan of what the first two teams in the draft did with the Atlanta Hawks and the Washington Wizards. I'm not going to say that Alex Sarr, Zachary, Richard, not going to become good players in this league because they definitely can. But I'm not huge fans. I think there are both downside. There are great upsides on both of the players, but I think there are downsides on both of them. So, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Rockets fan. I'm a big fan of Reed Sheppard. One of the Atlanta Hawks team, either Atlanta or Washington could have drafted Reed Sheppard. I'd still have the same mindset. His three-point shooting, his defense is something that I really love. And reminds me a lot like someone who is currently in the league, Austin Reeves, with the way he plays offensively. But the thing is that I think he has I'm not going to say he has a chance to be better than Austin Reeves, because Austin Reeves is a really great player for the Los Angeles Lakers. But he does have some traits in his game that are a lot better than Austin Reeves. Like, number one, he's 2 inches taller. Reeves is 6'1". He is 6'3". Number two, he is way better defensively, averaging almost 3 steals per game in Kentucky. We'll see how that transforms in the NBA with his defense, which has been very good in college, in his first year in college at Kentucky. So that's one thing. His defense is one thing, but his three-point shooting is the other. And he shot 53% from three in his freshman season. Now, that's going to be a huge addition for the Rockets. The Rockets need three-point shooting. They need defense. And like I said, I think Zachary Richey and Alex Sarr will be great players, but I think Reed Sheppard is going to be better than the both of them. Look, I don't think there's going to be anyone in this. Well, I'm not going to say there's going to be anyone in this draft, but I don't think there's going to be anyone that is going to be amazing out of this draft. I don't see it. I'm not going to say I don't think, but right now we'll see after the first season. We'll see after all these guys are done with their rookie seasons. But right now, I don't really see anyone that I believe could have a really crazy career. Look, in the weakest drafts, there's always someone that will have a great career. And that the person I kind of see in this draft that I believe is that person is Reed Sheppard. With his three-point shooting, his scoring, his defense, being a good passer, a good facilitator. I see it. I see it with the Rockets. And him being around a good team, I've always heard that it 100% matters where you get drafted to. And I think Houston is a dream place to get drafted to, being a top 3 pick. Look, and Atlanta's not bad either, because if you look at Atlanta, their team is not terrible either. You look at teams like I look at teams like Houston and Atlanta, and they're not terrible places to go to just because of the fact that they're better teams. Like, if you look at the Rockets, they're 41-41. They're going to continue to just get better because of their young team and their young roster. The Atlanta Hawks were just in a playing game, a little bit worse of a record than the Rockets, but still a good team. So Atlanta and Houston aren't bad places to get drafted to, but it's always the place you get drafted to always matters. If you look at look at Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Because of the Brooklyn Nets, and this is exactly why Reed Sheppard is on the Houston Rockets, because of the Brooklyn Nets trade that happened between the Celtics and that Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett trade. The Celtics were, even though they were a winning team, even though the Celtics were a 1 seed the season before and they were a playoff team the season they drafted Jaylen Brown, and he immediately came into a winning team. And Jaylen Brown's rookie season, in the 16-17 season, the Boston Celtics were the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference with led by Isaiah Thomas, and made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but were just short by the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. Then go to the next season, again because of that Brooklyn Nets trade, the Celtics have, the 3rd or 2nd overall pick in that draft, and they select Jason Tatum. But this is a Celtics team they've been winners recently. This is not because of their play. This is because of other teams' stupid choice to trade draft picks to them, unprotected draft picks, just like the Nets did with the Rockets. And they get Jason Tatum. They add him into a team that already has Kyrie Irving, already has Gordon Hayward, already has such a great team So if you look at Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, look how they came into a winning team, in their career. Obviously, I don't think the Rockets or the Atlanta Hawks are, a team like the Boston Celtics were in the 2016-17 season, or the season after that. If the Rockets or Hawks are not the team, a team that, just made it to the conference finals. They're not like the Celtics teams that Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum came on to when they were, when they were rookies. But at the same time, this is for a top 3 pick. Usually a top 3 pick is going to, one of the worst teams in the NBA from that last season. Look at Alex Sarr going to Washington. They were the worst team in the NBA last year. Look at Ron Holland going to Detroit, who was fourth. I'm trying to remember who was fourth overall. I know the Spurs have a great future with Wemby, but look at Stephon Castle going to San Antonio with how bad they were. So many players going to terrible teams from there are so many teams going to terrible teams from last year, but then you got Reed Sheppard and Zachary Rashard who were going to teams who were good last year. So like I said, it matters. It 100% matters where you get drafted to. And I think if you look at everybody in the top 10, I believe Houston has the best situation. I think they have the best team out of everybody in the top 10 right now. So with that being said, with Houston, being the best team in the top 10, that means that Reed Sheppard's going into the best situation. I guess I forgot that Rob Dillingham went to Minnesota. I guess they're the second best team. I was thinking about the Spurs because they had pick 8. I guess Rob Dillingham might be going to the best situation with Minnesota, but it's just that you could argue the same thing with Reed Sheppard going to Houston. So Reed Sheppard's going into a great situation. He's a great shooter. He's a great defender, but that's not the only reason I have the Rockets as the winner of this draft. There's 2 other reasons why I have the Rockets as winners of this draft. I don't know if you can count this as a part of the draft, but the Rockets had the 44th overall pick in the draft. And they absolutely decided to fleece the Atlanta Hawks, finesse them. They traded the 44th overall pick for AJ Griffin, who is such a great three-point shooter and such a great defender. This is someone who I believe went in the top 20 or 2 years ago in the NBA draft. This is someone who was expected to potentially go in the top 5 or top 6 in the NBA draft, but then kind of fell down some boards. I believe he went 14th or 15th overall, something like that. And he had a great rookie season. He averaged like 9 points per game. He shot 39% for 3. He was great defensively in his rookie year, was a huge impact for the Hawks in his rookie year, but the minutes disappeared in his second season. Look, I know he's not someone the Rockets just drafted, but the reason he is on this team is because of a draft pick that was in this draft. So the Rockets do have him because of this NBA draft, trading a second-round pick. And then the final reason why I have the Rockets as the winner of this draft is you got to also include the undrafted free agents that you bring in. And I love the undrafted free agent that the Rockets signed. They signed N'Faly Dante from Oregon, who is a power forward center, has great size, being 6'11", has a 7'6" wingspan. He is great offensively. Averaged over 17 points per game in his senior year at Oregon. He averaged like 10 or 11 rebounds per game as well. Was absolutely fantastic. He's not a great shooter, but is great defensively and is what this Rockets team needs defensively. I don't think he'll play much, but I know he'll be a huge part of the Summer League team. But defensively, he's a dog. Averaged 2 blocks per game with Oregon last year. Averaged almost 2 steals per game at 1.7 with Oregon last year. Is great defending off of pick and rolls. He's a monster defensively. So when I think about this Rockets team and what they did in the draft, I don't just think about Reed Sheppard because he was the only draft pick. I think about AJ Griffin, who was added in via trade because the Rockets traded a draft pick in this draft for him. And I think about N'Faly Dante, who was absolutely a dog in Oregon, and this Rockets team got him as an undrafted free agent. So I believe the Rockets are the winners of the 2024 NBA draft. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.